Alright, it's November 12th. Nice, cool, crisp morning. Pretty cool with the sun coming up and the fog through this river bottom. Back after Marino this morning. I've never hunted this tree. It's kind of on the river side of the pinch that we've hunted quite a bit. This southeast wind, I had to get on this side if I wanted to hunt this area. I went back and forth between hunting here out in the willows, which is where we saw him the second time last night. But there's just too much east in the wind there, and I thought it'd be better to get against the river. The wind is going to switch at some point later this morning, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that and probably get down once that starts to happen. But we got in here a little bit late. We're still having quite a bit of action. I bet we've seen 10 does and fawns already, and one buck that came cruising by and did some chasing. That first doe that came by, laid down the perfect scent trail. And a few minutes later, that buck came by. If we could get Marino to do that, it would be money. It just brings him about 25 yards. So let's hope that's the case. We're probably a little over 100 yards from where he was at yesterday morning. Obviously, he could be anywhere, but I like this spot as good of any with these conditions. So we'll see what happens. It's definitely a good morning to be in a tree stand. About 11 o'clock now, and we're going to start packing up. Our wind has actually stayed very good this whole time, and we just had a little flurry of activity with some bucks, but I unfortunately have some midday work to take care of, so we got to get out of the stand, and the wind should start switching here pretty soon, more westerly. We're going to decide where we want to go tonight. So crab claw 10 again with a doe, running bucks off again just like last night, but Marino was nowhere to be found, so probably move out towards the willows this evening and see if he's kicking around out there. We should be back in the stand hopefully within a couple hours. Alright, Connor and I are set up for the afternoon hunt, November 12th. Had a pretty solid sit this morning. We saw quite a few deer cruising through a little pinch of timber we were set up in. Just not Marino, unfortunately. So we moved back out closer. The winds picked up quite a bit, pretty strong south wind, so we moved out closer to where we saw him last night. We are probably 100 yards away from that stand. We moved over closer to where he was at the end of the night. The setup definitely isn't the greatest. I'd like to be a little bit closer, but there is kind of an intersection of paths that come right here, and potentially we could get a shot if he is traveling one of those. It probably sets up as a decent calling spot too if he's out there a ways, just because this grass down here is so tall that he'd have to come. As long as he doesn't get downwind, or we could shoot him before, we might be able to call to him tonight. But my hope is not to have to. I hope he kind of cruises along this edge. He's used this area a lot before, so it's not out of the question. Definitely seems like it's going to be a little bit slower compared to yesterday. There's a couple fawns that just came out just now. We've seen a couple does off in the distance, and a coyote that didn't look to be doing too well, just kind of laying out in the middle of the field. But he's kind of worked his way off now. So we'll see. We've got 2.5 hours left, and hopefully we can catch another glimpse of Marino. Second encounter. Alright, overall solid night. Couldn't do an interview on a tree. We had a bunch of deer below us, but saw a lot of deer. Keep having the same encounters with the same bucks. We got to end the night with another encounter with the crab claw. This time he walked by at 25 yards right at last light, so that was pretty cool. Saw that big 8 again. Saw way more does and fawns by themselves than I have in a long time, so I thought that was interesting. But overall, solid day. Finally, tomorrow we get a wind out of the north for the first time in a long time, and I've been waiting for that to go after the Big Ten, so that's the plan tomorrow morning. Hopefully we can have some luck over there.